Heather?
I can.
Or you can, not Heather, but
I
Dylan
will
can.
once I sit down.
We'll go ahead and send it to you guys by
The comments.
by commenting in the comment section. Yeah. So type your name in if you're watching us. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
So
So Danny, this is our first workshop of 2021. Are we excited?
is it really? Oh my gosh, yes, that's right. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes.
This is our first workshop.
Yes, and we got some fun things planned for the rest of the year. We got some cooking next month. We got I'm trying to see if I can read it from here. We got some debt management in the summer,
Yeah.
and we got some
Gardening.
gardening sometime this year.
We have
too.
community awareness. That's all the way down in September. But the February 17th workshop is going to be really fun because we're going to get to cook. We're going to Food Bank in Milford.
Yes, we will be filming from Milford
Yeah.
at the food bank with Chad and Tim.
Yeah, Chad and Tim. I
Tim or
believe-
Tish.
Tim,
Tish.
But,
or
probably Tim.
That's a lot of T's. Yeah, Tish. So we'll be cooking with them and showing how to cook on a budget. Is that the topic for?
Yes. And they're also going to be able to, we're going to pick a winner, right? As far as, what do they win, Heather?
A meal for four from the food bank.
There you go.
Woo!
Woohoo!
So that's for
We don't know what the
February.
menu is yet.
We
so-
don't know yet, yeah. But it's just a little plug there, right?
Yes, of course. It's going to be interesting to see what you can do. Do they have a budget set yet?
We're still talking about it, but I think it's about $50, right?
Oh, for
yeah.
cooking for $50.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
You can get
what they
several
can
meals
win.
out
Yeah.
of that.
So,
Are we
well,
ready to get
I
started?
think we're ready to get started. We're gonna go ahead and call on Miss Arlene George so she can introduce herself real quick.
Alrighty. Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I think you'll really enjoy the presentation, home safety and home protection workshop. We are going to have a Q&A period, so feel free to put your comments in the chat session. And now here is our Regional Vice President, Marquita Taylor, to tell you all about it. Thank you.
Yay!
Awesome. I wish I could hear those claps there.
Yay!
I love my lovely accessories here, guys, but I'm gonna have to get rid of them because they're just prohibiting me from projecting for you all. Right? So, thank you. Good evening, everyone. As she mentioned, my name is Marquita Taylor. I am a regional vice president for a financial firm here in Delaware. I'm excited about you guys learning some very basic concepts to share with you all, just to help you protect the assets that you already have, and to show you how to accumulate some additional assets as you go through with life. So, as we mentioned, home safety. We want to protect this great asset that some of you guys have already achieved so far. So kudos to you all the homeowners who've already gotten their homes, and those who are in the works of getting their homes. You want to make sure that you have the proper protection for that, and then income protection. We all work hard, and we want to make sure that we protect what we have. So big thumbs up if you guys can hear me okay. Thumbs down if you can't hear me okay. Good, you guys can hear me. Awesome. So let's just jump right in. This is our agenda. We're going to start with the home safety, and then we're going to allow a little bit of time for question and answers because we just want to make sure that this is as interactive as possible so that we can address any questions that you guys may have. We're going to try to keep that down to maybe 2 minutes or so just to make sure that we are able to cover all the things that we need to in the time frame that we have here. But definitely if there's some time left over at the end, we'll welcome more questions there. Then we're going to move into the income protection section and with a little bit of time for questions. And then basic investing, right? So building that wealth so that you can make sure that you continue to build those assets. And then putting together that financial game plan there, guys. So, and then of course questions if we have some time left there. So first, our mission. Our mission is to help families earn more income, become properly protected. So that's that income protection, debt-free and financially independent. That's what we want to help you guys achieve. And how do we do that? We're going to educate you guys on some very basic concepts that, to me, is just common sense. Unfortunately, no one has taught us, even through school, no one has taught us very basic concepts that will help us achieve these things. And we want to make sure that you learn those things that weren't, so that you won't repeat those habits and those those mistakes that we've all, fell victim to. So what are we faced with today, right? A lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of times not because we have to, it's just simply because, if we had some money left over, we didn't learn the disciplines or develop those good habits on how to really build that nest egg. 78% is a huge number. So we want to help people, do better in that area. More than half of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. $1,000 is not that much, and maybe it sounds like a big number, but really when you look at it, if your engine blows in your car, or maybe a pipe bursts in your house, $1,000 would be a big deal for the average family. So we want to help people in those areas as well. Mm-hmm. Debt is a huge deal, especially when you don't have tangible money there. We slap it on a credit card and get ourselves deeper into debt. I like to say we live in this microwave world. People want it right now. They want to nuke it. No one wants to, plan and put it in that crock pot to make sure that it happens. And that's how we fall victim to getting ourselves deeper and deeper into debt. So we want to just really maximize on how to really put that plan in place so that we can achieve all the things that we want to, but not put ourselves in a bad situation, so that we can protect our assets there. Nearly half of households don't have enough of insurance, if they have any at all, which is a sad thing here, because if you think about it, and it's rhetorical, God forbid the breadwinner passes away today or tomorrow, how would your family sustain? Especially those that just have one income coming in the household. How would your family, your children, sustain financially? Do you really want them to have to, reduce their quality of life because we didn't put the proper plans in place so that they can live that same standard of living, even in our own death, unfortunately? And I know it sounds a little grim, nobody really wants to think about us not being here, but it's one of those things that we have to prepare for. So we want to make sure that you guys are educated to make sure that doesn't happen to you, and you don't have to go do a GoFundMe or have a plate going around just to have some assistance there. And then retirement, that is a huge deal. I know we all want to live those golden years, but unfortunately most of us don't have a lot of a plan in place to make sure that we're retired and be able to stay retired, guys. So we want to make sure that our golden years are truly that. When we go to retire, we can stay retired and not have to go back for someone else. So here's my interaction here, guys. So I know we have some viewers here. If I asked you, what age would you like to retire, what would you tell me realistically? Don't tell me yesterday, because I would like to retire yesterday too. But realistically, with enough money to be able to retire, what age would that be?
50.
50. That's a good number, right? At age 50, we want to retire. So I would ask the average person at age 50, how much money do you need to have coming in on a monthly basis to live the same standard of living that you do today or better? Most people are like, well, maybe this or maybe that. Nothing really definitive.
Somebody said 65.
Jenny.
65, right? So same question. At 65, how much money would you think you need to have coming in on a monthly basis to live the same standard of living that you do today or better? Whoever that was that said 65.
Jenny.
Jenny, how much is that? What's that number?
What's that again?
What's
How
the
much
number
money do you need to have
retire?
coming in each month at 65 to live the same standard of living that you do today or better? Exactly, right?
She's not answering.
So probably the science is like kind of thinking and mulling on it, right? How much is that number? And so don't feel bad, Jenny, though, because most people don't have that definitive number.
She said the same amount that you make now.
Well, could be.
Okay.
Maybe not, right? So, without putting that plan in place to get that definitive number, then we don't know how much that we need to have saved up by that age that we want to retire, whether that's 65 or 50 or whatever that number is, that age is. And if you don't have that definitive number, then you don't know what to put aside right now to get there. So now we're faced with retirement at that age that we're looking to retire. And what do? Like, we have one or two options. We either reduce our standard of living or find another way to make some money. What do you think most people are doing, Jenny? Going back to Jenny since she's interactive with me.
Jenny said she can't type. But what else would other people do to, I don't know, maybe get a second job?
Get a second job, right? That's what we see a lot. Unfortunately, we see elders that are probably greeting us at the doors of Walmart. Not that anything is wrong with working at Walmart. For sure it isn't, right? But when you're faced with retirement, I don't think that'd be the top choice that people do just to keep themselves busy. I think it's more so the fact that they did not have enough money to handle their financial responsibility. So now they're getting that second job in order to, bridge the gap there.
That's your answer, making extra dollars.
For sure, Jenny. So we want to help in all these different areas. But the question is, how real and serious are these issues that we just talked about that we're faced with in the economy? In my opinion, grave serious. And so we want to help people, solve for these issues that we're faced with on a daily basis. So the first area is protecting one of your biggest assets is your home. Right? Your home that you work so hard for.
Your habitat home.
Your habitat home particularly. We want to make sure that you're able to protect that and the assets that are inside of it. And so we partner with Vivint, which is the #1 smart home solution company in North America. And I know a lot of us are so familiar with the doorbell cameras, which is so popular right now. But what sets Vivint apart right now from some of the other companies that offer some similar services? One, we offer free activation. We offer free installation, and for limited time, we are offering a free outdoor camera, which is a huge bonus, guys. We're talking about savings up to about $500, that you can achieve right from just calling and getting that appointment scheduled to get your installation there, right? So, and then the ring doorbell, I personally have it. Absolutely love it. There's some additional features that you can get, especially if you have your little kids. I love the fact that you don't have to give kids a key. You can get the door locks and you can open it with your doors. Just absolutely fabulous. And I don't have young children, but I still love it anyway for delivery. But I'm going to share with you guys a really quick video that kind of, it's entertaining, but does touch on all the different features that Vivint has to offer. So just bear with us for a moment to key up the video, and I'll get back to you in just a moment.
No, you can.
Escape. Oh, you should just click it. Go to the next one. Just click on it. No, just click on the link. Go back. One moment, guys, as we deal with the technical difficulties. There you go. That's your beautiful screen.
I was going to say maybe you can talk about the special again, but since it's starting, I guess it's okay.
Yep. Let us know if y'all can hear it. It is audio with it.
Automation for centuries. Replaced by new inventions. 211.
Can you hear it?
There's nothing left for humans. Thank you, Brian. Anything more before you, sir? Fine. There's one job that should get replaced.
Your job as a homeowner, which is actually a series of crappy full-time jobs you do for free.
Like security guard. Protecting your house. Supervisor. Protecting your kids. Safety inspector. Protecting your house. From your kids.
You spend so much time taking care of your home. What if your home took care of you?
Presenting Vivint Smart Home. Complete control of your home all in the palm of your hand. It's the easy way to protect your home and eliminate your crappy jobs. Like security guard. With an attempted break-in. The Vivint Night Vision doorbell cam captures the intruder, sending video to your phone, saving images for the cops. The smart security system sounds the alarm, turns on the lights, and a 24/7 live Vivint rep checks in on you. If it's a real break-in, they call the police immediately. And smart sensors, outdoor cams, motion detectors track any intrusion. It's so secure, you'll forget how insecure you are. Yeah, you better run, coward.
Supervisor, your daughter's walking home from school while you're at work. When she's 15 feet from the front door, the doorbell cam sees her, and Vivint sends you a notification. You say, huh, and unlock the door with your phone. Not some key hidden in a fake rock. And the door automatically locks behind her. Then you can keep an eye on her with the indoor cameras. Brittany! Take off your dad's briefs.
Safety inspector. When a fire breaks out, the smoke detector is triggered, and Vivint calls the fire department. The thermostat turns off the air to slow down the flames. The door's unlocked so help can get in, and you get notified on your phone. Vivint also constantly monitors for flood, carbon monoxide, and freezing. It makes you immortal.
I can't say that.
It makes you immortal till you die. Vivint takes care of the crappy, so you can take care of the happy. I know that sounds sappy, but I'm their pappy. Don't be snappy.
Vivint also does all the extra jobs you don't even do yourself, like house sitter. When you're out of town, Vivint's Smart Home helps you sleep peacefully, knowing no one else is sleeping peacefully in your home.
Even if you're vacationing on the other side of the planet, you can light up your home at night. The sun can't even do that.
Plus, Vivint lets you receive packages before porch routers do.
Got one pallet of Diet Cola here?
Thanks, Lloyd. Just stick it in the garage with the others.
Did you say others?
I need them, Brian.
She's right. Connect Vivint to voice control and become a demigod who controls things like the weather. Cool the temperature in the room by 5 degrees. Matter. Shut the garage door. Even the birth of your grandchildren.
Hey, is Emily free?
Nay.
Vivint comes to your home and installs everything for you. And they offer professional servicing on all their products.
Plus, Vivint automates your home like no other system on the market, despite what some competitors may say.
We don't do as much automation, but with our system, you can still turn on your lights with your phone.
Okay. Okay. Vivint is the #1 smart home system in North America, with over 2 million systems sold and 25,000 five-star reviews. That's a lot of high numbers that mean stuff.
And you can have all that for less than the cost of a smartphone. At least a smart home will make you sterile.
If you're still worried about costs, remember, Vivint's alarm system can lower your house insurance payments.
Plus, the Vivint Smart Thermostat programs itself, lowering your utility bill by an average of 10% or more.
You spent $300 on magic tricks?
You mean invested? You worried about privacy? Vivint uses cutting-edge encryption to keep your account secure. They keep it nice and safe in a cage-free organic server.
Hi! Vivint Smart Home. Fire yourself and hire Vivint.
I had a fun time tonight.
Yeah. Hey, pal. Anything you do with her, you're gonna have to do with me, okay? I'm not doing that with him.
Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a little entertaining, but you know, in all seriousness, it just really illustrates all of the different features that Vivint has to offer. You get to choose, so don't think it's just cookie cutter. You can customize your packages as your preferences are. So I really love it, but it's a great way to protect your home and the assets that are in there. So my question to you all is, you know, if someone asked you what was your greatest financial asset, what would you say? What would you say?
My house.
Your house, right? Most people would say that, right? Because that's one of your biggest purchases that you'll have in your lifetime. But my next question would be, you know, if you don't pay your mortgage, that's not us, right? Because we've all learned these concepts, right? That will not be us. But if you didn't pay it in 2, 3, 4 months down the road, what would happen to your house? Foreclosure. Foreclosures in your very near future. So what really gives us all the ability to afford our mortgage or our car notes or whatever? Budgeting or
A job.
our job, right? Our income. We work that job, right? So we're our greatest financial asset, because without our ability to produce that income, we wouldn't be able to afford any of those things that we talk about. And so that's what we mean by income protection. You do that by means of life insurance. Now, life insurance has never replaced life. It never will. Sure.
What would you do, for instance, right now, just because of COVID and stuff happening, unpredictability?
My recommendation is, if you don't have life insurance right now, you need to get it immediately, because we just never know when you'll get diagnosed with COVID, and then that will pose as an issue of trying to get approved for life insurance. So more now than any time before, we're dealing with this pandemic, and if you've tested positive for COVID, that's one of the questions that are now on most companies' application process, and it could prohibit you from getting it, and that's not what you want. So if you don't have it right now, particularly outside of your jobs, you need to make sure that you get that implemented ASAP, so that we can lock that in while you're healthy and younger. Great question. I appreciate that. Right, so income protection or life insurance is what we like to call it, because it's going to protect the income that your family has grown dependent on. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, what happens if that breadwinner passes away? How is that income replaced? Do we have a question?
No, you're good.
Sorry. How do you replace that income? Like, how does your family sustain financially? It kind of can't, because now with you goes your income. If you think about it, you have 100% of your bills, and now either 50% of your income or none of your income. And that's where life insurance kicks in. Life insurance is going to replace the income that your family has grown dependent on. And so there's basically two different types, and we want to make sure that you really understand so that you can get the proper kind in place. And so the two major categories are whole life or cash value, which a lot of people, I'm sure, are familiar with that, but for those who aren't, that's the type of insurance that you get, insurance plus savings, and then they have some additional features in that type of policy that you can borrow from that savings that you've achieved if you need to, okay? And then there's another type of insurance, it's called term insurance. It is just for a specified period of time. There's no cash value, so once that time has been achieved, then it's done. So you guys that are watching out there, which one do you think is the better option?
We had a question
Sure.
if there's an age limit.
There is an
life
age
insurance.
limit of 70 to implement a new policy. However, you can get coverage to 95 if you have done it before the age of 70 and a half. Great question. Great question. So out of those two choices, what do you guys think is the better option? The whole life or cash value, or the term insurance? Anybody? Somebody?
Whole life?
Whole life? Yep. Whole life. Let's take a look. This is a client. We just changed their names to protect their confidentiality there. John and Mary, they had a whole life policy, guys. They had $150,000 of coverage for themselves. Right, for each other, I'm sorry. They're age 35 and 33 respectively. They do have 2 young children, I know that, because they are a client. They have no coverage on their children. So for this coverage, guys, that $150,000 of coverage, they are paying $298 a month. Pretty steep for $150,000 of coverage. I mean, that's a big bill for the average family. It's like a car note for $150,000. And in my opinion, $150,000 is not necessarily enough to pay off most homes today. Even if it is, not very much left to handle your financial responsibilities. And so, as I mentioned, this is the type of insurance that also what you're paying, that $298, is not only taking care of the death benefit of $150,000, but it's also accumulating some savings. So that's kind of the unknown, right? Because you get an interest rate anywhere between 2 and 4%, and that's accumulating over a period of time. So as you're paying, let's say that cash value has accumulated to $124,000. Let's just throw a number out there. So if John decides that he wants to borrow from that $124,000, whose money is he borrowing? Anybody? Whose money is John borrowing if he borrows from that cash value? That's where that question mark. His money. His own money. So when is there a good time to borrow your own money? When is ever a good time to borrow your own money?
When you need it.
When you need it. Most people will say that, right? But if it's yours, should you have to borrow it? No, it doesn't make sense. That's like getting up tomorrow morning like, I wonder if I could borrow my own car. Or can I borrow my shoes? Like, because if you borrow something, what do you have to do with it?
Pay it back.
Pay it back. And what do you think you're paying it back with?
Interest.
Interest. Does that seem fair? Absolutely not, because it's your money. But let's say John decides he's going to borrow $50,000. He's borrowing $50,000 from himself. John passes away before he pays himself that $50,000. Now they have $150,000 of coverage that they're paying for every month. If John passes away before he pays himself back, how much do you think Mary's going to get, or should get?
Less than 100.
Say it again.
Like 75.
So if they're paying every month here, so remember they're paying every month for $150,000. This cash value here is a separate entity. They borrow from this cash value here, but didn't pay themselves back. So should Mary get $150,000 at least, since that's what they're paying for every month? You think?
Yes.
Yes.
She should, right? Because that's what she's paying for. But you guys are right. I think I heard somebody say $100,000. That's exactly what you'll get, because they did not pay themselves back, they will deduct it from this $150,000. Even though this $298 here is paying for this as well as this.
Because they borrowed.
Because they borrow from themselves, from the savings. So that's like you going to the bank, you all, and you saved up $50,000, and you go back to the bank and it's not there. Would you be upset?
Heck yeah.
Heck yes, you would absolutely be upset. But in essence, that's what's happening. Your money is accumulating in this cash value, but because you pulled it out and didn't put it back in, they will take it from your death benefit, which we all agreed was not enough anyway. But wait, there's more. It gets worse. Let's say they did not take any loan out of this cash value. They left it there. So every month, this $298 is paying for this as well as paying for that, but they left it all there. Now, if John or Mary passes away, how much would the surviving spouse get? 150,000. Any other guesses? 150,000. What about the money that's accumulated in here? What about this? Will they get that too? Since they're paying for that as well, and they didn't take any loans. Well, you think they should, right?
They should.
They
Yeah.
should. But you're absolutely right. They're only going to get 150, although they're paying for both. You only get one or the other. So just think about that example that I just said. Let's say they had this 124. That's the question mark. It's 124,000. You're faced with a decision. You either get the 150,000 or the 124,000. You get to choose. What do you think the average person is going to choose?
The 150.
150 it's like a no-brainer. Right? And so guess where the 124 goes?
Okay.
Back to the insurance company. Back to the insurance company. To me, it should be illegal, but it is very legal because it's written in black and white in the policy, but we don't understand it enough to ask the question. Absolutely. That's why I've become very passionate about teaching people, at least informing them how it works, and they get to choose. If you still ultimately want this, then you know that you're making that decision based with facts. Yes, go ahead.
They tax that 150,000?
So, did you say taxed? No, life insurance is not a taxable event to the beneficiary.
So they would get the 150,000.
They would get the $150,000 death benefit. Yes, good question.
I was gonna say that would be even worse.
It is worse, but just think about it. You saved up this money, and it's like you didn't really save it up and it's so much more expensive. So if you take a look here, this is an example of term insurance. So instead of 150,000, we cover them for 300,000 each. But we also cover their 2 children for 25,000 each. So now they have doubled their coverage. Also cover their 2 children for 25,000. But instead of 298, it's only 123. What do you think is easier for most people's pockets? 298 or 123? I know it's kind of like silly questions, right? But it just shows you, if somebody actually explains it to the people the way that I'm explaining it, then you'll make a different decision. And that's what we need to understand. All right, so we save them $175 a month by switching them from a whole life policy that wasn't really advantageous for them to something that they have doubled the coverage, plus it's saving them $175 a month. So we recommend, don't spend $175. Don't go buy those shoes or whatever your vice is. Invest that. If they took our recommendation, they would have saved up over $500,000 for $175. Most people look at $175 like that's not a lot of money. But $175 over a longer course of time, in this instance 35 years, it would accumulate over $500,000, inch by inches and cinch. Now, if John wants to borrow from this 518, does he have to pay himself back? No. That is truly his own savings, right? So you have insurance and savings separated, never bundle them together. So Mary, if you were married, let's say, would you prefer 300,000 or 150?
300,000.
So if John passes away, Mary's gonna get both 300,000 plus whatever is saved up here, the $500,000. A lot of people say, well, term insurance, Marquita, doesn't make sense because when we are done with the time, then I don't have any insurance. Absolutely right. But if you had a $500,000 saved up, then you really need to keep life insurance. Your savings is a lot more than what your a life insurance policy was. So you really don't need life insurance for your whole life. You only need life insurance up until the point where you saved up enough money to handle your financial responsibilities. So we want to teach people how to ultimately eliminate the need for life insurance. Have it while you don't have enough money saved up, but once you achieve the right amount of money saved up, we want to help you get rid of life insurance. All right? So now which program you think is the better option, the cash value or the term insurance? Term all day. I'm glad you got all agreed there. So this is just slide here just showing you the different areas of finances that we can help you with. We talked about the life insurance and we talked about the home protection there through Living Smart Home, right? So that's the left side of the wheel. But if we go from the bottom left, we help with identity theft, legal protection. If you go to the right side of the wheel, we also can help you in every area of your investments, whether you're planning for retirement, your children's college education, or any other thing that you're investing for. And these are some of the strategic partners that we help to implement people, our clients with there. So this really just illustrating, we're like that one-stop shopping as it relates to your finances. Very similar to Walmart. You can go to Walmart and get anything that you need. When you sit down with one of our reps here, you can handle your finances holistically. We just don't do taxes. Everything else we can handle. All right. So speaking of building up your assets, our mission is to pay yourself first. Of course, outside of tithing, we don't want you not to do that. Don't take my message and misconstrue it. Definitely tithe, but pay yourself first. Your bills are going to be there. You can pay your bills, but we want to also make sure that you pay yourself. And so this is how we recommend that you allocate the income that you have coming in. 50% should go into the emergency fund because we don't know what's going to happen, but we want to make sure that we are prepared for the things that are unforeseen that may happen with us. Right? And so 50% should go into your emergency fund. Then we want you to have a short-term savings, right? So maybe you're planning for, I don't know, a family vacation or something that's like 3 to 5 years. So we want 25% going in there, and then the other 25 going into your retirement. But once you've achieved that number that you need for your emergency fund, which we recommend 3 to 6 months of your financial responsibilities, we want everything to go into your retirement. So once you build enough in your emergency fund and your short-term savings, all of the amount of income that you have left over after you paid your bills and of course tithe can go into your retirement account. Okay, so that's that three account approach that we want you to do there. All right, so any questions before we move in there? I know we have a separate time for question and answers. I felt like that was a good pause. All right, so quickly, the rule of 72, very powerful, guys. If you don't remember much else of what I said tonight, I want you to remember this because it's a very basic rule that could potentially change the legacy of your families, right? So it used to be called an old banker's rule, and so basically it illustrates how quickly your money is going to double. Taking the interest that you're getting on your money, divide it into the number 72, and the answer you come up with is approximately how quickly your money is going to double. Okay, so the interest you get on your money, divide it into the number 72, and that's approximately how quickly your money is going to double. So just think about it. If someone blessed you with $1,000, where would the average person start saving that money?
Short-term savings.
Where at though?
In a bank.
In a bank, right? Any idea? Any idea what the interest you're getting in a savings account at the bank? Savings checking account.
I think my growth account is like 0.0.
There you have it, right? So
It's like less than 1%.
Zero,
in front of
zero,
anything
nine.
is basically zero, right? So 0 into 72 is nothing. So your money's not going to double in a regular savings account. So if you're looking to accumulate wealth, that's not where you want to. But historically, we can get a 3% return. So if you take 3 into 72, that means that $1,000 is going to double every 24 years. Right? So let's say we started, she's laughing, like
What?
24 years? I don't have 24 years to wait for my money to double. And I agree. I totally agree. But this is just going to illustrate to you why it's not advantageous for you to save your money there. It serves a purpose. That's where you pay our bills. But if you're trying to really build wealth, absolutely not, because it's going to take you 24 years. So just for time purposes, let's just go through it. That 1,000 in 24 years is going to double to 2. Then we have 4,000 and have $8,000. But it took us 72 years to get there. We're senior citizens now, right? So it's probably not even really worth that 8,000. So let's say we're a little smarter and we put our money where we can get a 6% return. 6 into 72 is 12. That means that same $1,000 will double every 12 years. So if you take a look, in 12 years is 2. We have 4,000. Now we have $8,000, guys, but it took us half the amount of time to get there, right? So see, only 36 years. So we take it all the way down, we have $64,000. Can we retire off of $64,000?
No.
Absolutely not. But would you agree? It's a whole lot better than $8,000 we're getting in the bank, for sure. I love what we do because we show people how to get a 12% or more return on their money. Anybody want to get a 12% or more on their money? Absolutely. So if you take that 12 into 72, that is 6. That same $1,000 now is going to double every 6 years. And so if we started out with 3%, ended up with 8,000. Double it to 6%, ended up with 64. Now that we double it again to 12%, let's just guess where we're going to end up with 72 now. It's doubling every 6.
128,000.
Great guess. 128. Any guess? Quiet, right?
I think that's what she guessed.
What she said, right? So that 1,006 years is going to double to 2. Then we have 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Again, same money, half the amount of time to get there. Now we have our 128. So that is 128, 256, $500,000, $1 billion, $2 million, $4.1 million, guys, off of a one-time investment of $1,000. Imagine if we were putting money in there on a monthly basis. You know, where would we be? Imagine if our parents would have learned that. Where would we be right now? But we can get there. And so, you know, I don't want to get too deep in there. We can show you how to get that 12% or more return on your money. But just think about it. If we even had $100 a month to do it, or $200, of course, it's not going to yield the same amount, but it's absolutely better than putting your money in the bank. And that's just an average. Has the market gone beyond 12%? For sure it has. All right, so just think about it. If we would have learned this back in school, where would we be right now? Because if I said, you know what, you can put your money 3%, 6%, or 12%, where would you put your money?
12.
For sure. And that's what, you know, when I learned this, I'm like, well, this is an obvious answer here. 12% all day. But I felt like, you know, kind of slighted, because why, if you go through all of school on all levels, no one teach you this. That's something very basic that could potentially change the legacy of your household. Right? The banks, they have your $8,000 and they're getting this $4.1 billion, but they're giving us back our $8,000 and keeping the difference. We want to show people how to get that 12% or higher, and you can start. We do this in mutual funds, right? And so, if you want to learn a little more about mutual funds, absolutely, you know, contact us so we can educate you a little further, so that we can educate you on, you know, how they work and how you can maximize on it. But you can start it for as little as $25 a month. $25 a month, arguably most people can afford. That's like a bottle of water a day. In fact, that's more expensive. Alrighty, so how can we become a millionaire? If someone starts, you know, with 3%, with just $200 for 35 years, they get 3% is $150,000, 6% is $286,000, so that's over $250,000 with just $200. People waste that on a pocketbook. 12% though, 12% for $200 a month will yield you $1.3 million. $1.3 million. What would you do? What would you do with that 1.3 million. Just think if you only got 10% on that 1 million. That's over $100,000 coming into your household every year, never touching $1 million. That's called compound interest, guys. And the more we take advantage of compound, we'll start to see, generational wealth in our lifetime. Right? One of the biggest reasons why, though, is because we have too much debt. So we want to make sure that we attack that as well. But we have to remember to stay focused. To invest, it takes some discipline. And so remember the 3 Ds. It's dollar cost averaging, and of course being disciplined, but diversification. I know a lot of the younger generations are, dibbling and dabbling into, stocks and everything, but that's everything in one basket. You want to make sure that you cover the gamut there and have diversification so that when the market is going down, you don't lose everything, because that's all of your eggs in one basket. So I'm just going to go past this because we don't have a lot of time left. So people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. You guys agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Ask any little kid right now, what do you want to be when you grow up? The sky is kind of the limit. No one ever says, you know what, I want to work to 70 and live paycheck to paycheck. That's not in the cards. We have high aspirations. But, the challenge is that no one's really focused on your finances holistically. They're looking at one area and that product that they can sell you and don't really care about the other areas. So, your mortgage company can care less about your life insurance. Your life insurance can care less about your credit card. But we try to streamline that and look at everything in your finances so nothing gets missed there. And so we have a financial needs analysis, which we are offering to everyone who is viewing us today for absolutely free. 3 things about it. It's customized. No 2 families have exactly the same goals and dreams, so it's tailored for your particular goals and dreams that you're looking to achieve based on where you are now and where you would like to go. Secondly, it's confidential. We can't share that with anybody. All right, and so we want to offer you guys, that's third C for you guys, we want to offer it complimentary to you all. But think about it as a financial GPS. All right, it's going to give you those step-by-step actions on how to reach your financial goals and dreams. And if we find that there's a gap between what your income is and your goals and dreams, we never want you to give up on your goals and dreams. However, we can show you how to make some additional income so that you can bridge that gap there. So if you're interested, please get in contact with us. But inside that financial needs analysis, we have found 21 different ways to save anywhere between $200 and $2,000 back into your budget. What would an extra $200 do for your budget every month?
A lot.
A whole lot. I can find a lot of different things for that. And these are just a list of different areas that we look at via that financial needs analysis that will uncover some ways where you can save money, like not spending any extra money, but just really making some corroborated adjustments where you can, roll both oars at the same time. Okay? So number one thing is putting a budget together. We want to make sure that you get a grip on your spending, because we all have our vices, but we just need to have a little discipline. Not that you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor, but you need to be able to prepare for unforeseen things that happen. So save for retirement, because we, even though we may want to work forever, our bodies may not allow us to do so. Know exactly where your money is going and don't fall into the debt trap. You can do it, guys. I believe in you. Inch by inch is a cinch. Just remember that. Inch by inch. It's like trying to quit smoking. You don't just go cold turkey. It's just gradually start cutting back. And that's what we recommend. Gradually start to streamline your budget there. Okay? So that's the end of our presentation, guys. I hope you guys learned some things. We're really open to the questions that you have. Would love to sit down with you all individually to put your plan in place. Here's our contact information. My name is Marquita Taylor. Again, I'm a regional vice president. That's my email as well as my cell phone. My colleague, Earlene George, here, and that's her contact information. Either one of us, you can reach us if you want more information. I'm doing this. Here is the questionnaire that you guys can fill out. I believe Danielle has sent this out to everyone. Feel free to fill this out. We're looking for this by Friday so that we can get an idea of your area of interest and schedule some appointments with you guys and offer you guys that free financial plan. Put your goals and dreams in black and white, guys. It's free. So at least know where you are and what you need to do to get there, even if you're not there right now. Again, inch by inch is a cinch. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Open for questions. I'll be around, so please do. If you have any questions, I'm willing to answer.
They said they can't see your information, so we'll type it in. Can you just let them know that we'll be putting it in?
Oh, can we send them this presentation? The slides?
The
The
PowerPoint.
slides. Can we
Yeah,
send them
just
that,
forward
or?
it.
Or at least the slide with your information.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. I can send that.
Yeah, you can do that. And then the gift certificate, you wanna say something in front of the
Sure,
camera
sure.
about the gift certificate?
I'll do it. So guys, here it is. I think Danielle and Heather are providing you this tangible, but if not, we are honoring this gift certificate for all that have viewed here this evening. It's a gift certificate for a free financial plan. It's going to look at all areas of your finances, guys. It's a value worth $500. As I mentioned before, get your goals and dreams on paper, guys, so you know exactly what it is that you need to do to reach your financial goals and dreams.
So we're going to show the contact information real quick. Can y'all see that? Denny, can you see the contact info?
I'll type it in.
Danny, you said it.
Get out, Danny. It's Marquita.
I'm sure they can see it now.
I'll just type this in.
So Sandra, the certificate, Sandra's asking how they get the certificate. We're going to send it to them, Danny?
Yeah.
Okay.
The ones
There
that-
you have it.
Jenny said she can see it, so don't worry about typing it.
Okay.
I'm going to stand here for a second. I can still see you, so if you have anything.
Okay.
So, the gift certificates you're going to get,
And the questionnaires you should have.
I'm gonna
already
email
seen.
this to them.
Awesome.
And then this one right here, the questionnaire, I've already emailed it to you. We just need this by this Friday. But if you attended tonight's workshop, I'll be sending you the gift certificate.
Awesome.
And the Vivint promo is good till Saturday.
Oh, can you say that
Oh,
again?
absolutely, guys. So I know I mentioned that you can get a free outdoor camera with Vivint Smart Home. That is an offer that is available up until this Saturday, guys. So act fast. At least call and see what your options are. But take advantage of that. That is a great deal for you guys to save you up to $500 as well. So Vivint, the outdoor camera, get in touch with us and we can show you how to get that implemented.
Well, thank you, guys.
Wonderful. Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Woo!
Thank you, everybody.
Here's the contact info for those that have asked. We'll just stand here for a second.
We can email that to them.
Yeah. I'll email you guys the gift certificate and I'll email you their information.
Yes, we will be emailing the information.
Yeah, all of that, okay? Give me until Friday, please.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
All right.